What's up? It's Brian Soscia at the TheBrian Soscia on Twitter. Talk wrestling with me. I can't get enough of it. Love talking wrestling with you guys. And also, don't forget to subscribe if you're watching or listening to this on YouTube, because tons of wrestling exclusives all the time. Today, Kofi Kingston joins us. Kofi, you have been like, what, a 4-time IC champ, 3-time US champ, a 3-time tag team champion with Kofi Kingston. He's on the phone now. Very excited to have you. Now, we're based out of Philadelphia, which is like a huge wrestling city.
Definitely, man. Philly is always a spot that we look forward to coming to. I mean, there's so much wrestling history there, and the crowd is always rowdy. So we're always ready to go, you know what I mean? And the crowd is great.
Sure is a great city to be a fan in, trust me. Kofi, a lot of history in Philly, but a lot of history with you. I mean, like in your career. So I believe your first title was that the Intercontinental Championship? Was the first title you ever won?
Yes, it was. I beat Chris Jericho, which was crazy because this is a guy who I used to watch on Nitro and Raw way back in the days. Probably had a lot to do with why I'm even a WWE superstar today. He was so entertaining, and the fact that I was able to defeat him and become Intercontinental Champion, a title that I used to love watching all the guys who used to hold that time, of the Shawn Michaels, the Ricky Steamboats, all those guys, and then it was me. So definitely a memory that I as a fan and as a student of the game, definitely cherish.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that. I mean, you're very excited about your first championship. Obviously, you've worked so hard to get there, and it's in your hands, and you beat a guy you used to watch. Give me, I don't care if it was you were thinking about what you're going to have for dinner that night, if it was something weird, but what were your thoughts in the ring when you won that title? I mean, it had to be great.
It was just amazing, man. It was surreal. And to be honest, so I had been wrestling for a while, like on the independents, and, even throughout the developmental territories, basically like our farming system, I had never been any kind of champion. You know what I'm saying? So my first championship title was the Intercontinental Championship. So it just meant that much more because, you only get one first. And for it to be a title that was as prestigious as the Intercontinental Championship was just amazing, man. Going out there, it was almost surreal. It was literally a boyhood dream coming true.
Man, I can only imagine that. Now, Kofi, I have to apologize to the audience because your cell phone was cutting in and out because you guys do a lot of traveling. So I'd imagine you're traveling right now. Are you in a car? What's going on? Who are you traveling with right now?
I'm actually I'm in my car right now. My son had a doctor's appointment just to schedule the checkup, check out all the vitals and all that. So I had to leave out of the office real quick, and I came out to my car.
Sorry, I feel bad.
It's all good, man. It's all good. This is just a day in the life of a WWE superstar. We're only home like a day and a half a week. You know what I'm saying? So you got to figure out how to get all your things squared away. I went to the gym. I had an eye doctor's appointment, came all the way back home, picked up my son, came to the doctor's appointment. Now we're doing this. So
I love it. Kofi, that makes me feel
it's all good.
That makes me feel that much better that like your son's and the doctors, you step out. That's how much this radio show means to you. I love that. Kof.
That's right. That's right.
So Kof, I mean, you just said you guys have a very crazy travel schedule. Are you one of those guys with the bus, or do you just kind of do your thing in the car?
I most certainly do not have a bus. I'm not making that much yet, but I usually travel around in a car, a rental car, with a couple of the guys, you know what I'm saying, or by myself.
All right, now you've been on here a couple times. I always love chatting with you. I consider you a friend to the show at this point, and you told me before all those like amazing things you do at the Royal Rumble, where it looks like you're going to get eliminated and you don't. The one you did at WrestleMania where you flipped over the stairs and you landed your feet on the stairs in the Battle Royal. It's crazy, but you mentioned that you run all of those things by Hornswoggle, who you travel with sometimes, and he always says you can't do it.
Yeah, man. He's supposed to be the guy that, he's my good friend. You would expect him to, encourage me and have my back and, tell me, hey, man, I think you can do it. I believe in you. And it's not that at all. He completely goes the opposite route. He doubts me. He laughs at me. He makes jokes about me being able to do these things and, me messing things up. So, luckily, I've been able to prove him wrong every single time. But, Hornswoggle is the guy who I like to bounce ideas off. And yeah, he's a... he has a lot of good ideas himself. I don't know if you saw him in the WLC match.
Yeah.
And then mask match, so.
He's a smart guy, and I really like what he's doing nowadays when, as like the rock band, the three-man band thing. I think he's great, and I love that you guys are friends. I can just see that dynamic, like off-screen, him telling you can't do stuff, you doing it. And when you run stuff by him, I mean, do you ever have like a contingency plan? Because the stuff you do in the Rumble, the stuff you did at WrestleMania, it's pretty risky. What would you do if like your feet didn't catch the stairs? Just be eliminated, try to sneak back in? How do you handle that?
Pretty much. You just be eliminated, would be out.
Now,
so.
Well, it's being such good friends with Hornswoggle. Do you guys ever, I know you used to do some step team stuff in college, sexual chocolate. So you were chocolate ecstasy.
That's right.
How do I know this stuff, right? What was Hornswoggle? What would his name be? Would you have a name for him? Does he ever dance for you or anything like that?
We probably call him fun-size chocolate. We call him fun-size chocolate.
Yeah, I love it.
The small pack.
I love it. This is awesome. So, next thing I want to talk to you about, a lot of good stuff you do in the ring. I feel like you have springs in your feet. It looks to me like maybe you draw from not just wrestling, but you draw from movies and stuff. Maybe like Jackie Chan-ish with what you do. Maybe some Japanese wrestling. How interested are you in stuff like that, like Japanese wrestling? Do you draw from that?
Absolutely. Jackie Chan is definitely one of my inspirations. All the things that he does in all his movies are cool. I always try to figure a way to kind of bring him to the wrestling ring, so for sure. But, I'm a student of the game. I watch wrestling from all over the world, Mexico, Japan, Europe, and I just try to, see what looks cool. And if I can kind of do it, then by all means, but I just get as much pleasure out of watching it as well. I'm always a student of the game, so yeah, definitely.
A couple more things before I let you go. There's so many questions that came in. People heard you were going to be on. You have a big fan base, which is well-deserved. One of the questions I have before we get to that is, as a wrestler, I feel like you have your theme song. Do you ever listen to your theme song when you're not going to the ring? Like, do you ever listen at the gym or maybe in front of your mirror and pose? Or does that wear off after a while?
No, I surprisingly I don't. It's funny because we have the best fans in the world, and a lot of times at the airport, they'll want to show how supportive they are by showing me that they got their ringtone, and it's my song, which is always cool, But I'm very lucky to have a song that's very catchy, and like I come to the back and everybody's still humming it, even after all these years. So. Definitely a cool thing, and music is so important because it really sets the tone for when you come out there. If you have a song that's not catchy and it's not cool, that kind of sets the bar kind of low. So I'm one of the guys who's very fortunate to have a great song, and yes, SOS is still going strong. Yeah,
you got an awesome song. I will definitely agree with that opinion. Now, with your song, I think it was. I think old WWE superstar, former superstar Gangrel once said to me that a good theme song is something you can almost walk to sometimes, too. Like, for instance, if you hear a song on the radio, and being a wrestler for all these years, do you still go, wait, that would be a great theme? Do you ever envision maybe new songs come out, how you would come to the ring to that theme if you didn't have yours? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think in the back of your mind, when you think of WWE superstars, you think of character development. And if there's a chance that your character can go in a different direction, then you have to be thinking about what kind of song would match that character, So, there's always, I listen to a lot of music. Most people who, take pictures with me see me with my headphones on because I'm always listening to something. So, that's always in the back of the mind. You never know when that character change is going to come, and you have to, give suggestions as to what you want your music to sound like. So, man, there's a bunch of stuff. But it depends on the situation.
Got it. All right. Well, Kofi, look, before I let you go, this is the fan question I was talking about. There's a female fan who, social media question here, and she loves you. I mean, she loves everything from your hair to your tattoos to the way you wrestle in the ring to the way you talk. She loves your body, all this stuff. She couldn't have been complimentary enough. The one thing she wanted to know, she said that she likes your body because you look different than the other superstars. You're in shape. She said that she has a thing for your chest. I mean, is there a way your chest looks different?
I have the chest of the future. A lot of people look at my chest and they'll notice that the inner chest is not as prominent as most WWE superstars, and I always tell them that inner chest was very 1932 strongman old stuff, In a few decades, your great-grandkids will probably all have chests like mine. My chest is ahead of its time, if you will. It's all about the outer chest.
Straight up, yeah. I bet you the chops hurt a lot more, though, with the outer chest and not the inner chest development, huh?
Well, it hurts the person who's doing it. My chest is it's a defense mechanism, you know what I mean? A lot of sternum involved, not so much pectoral, but it's all good. Like I said, it's the chest of the future, and I'm glad that somebody has has asked about this and has recognized it.
Yeah, and she looks like a good-looking female, too. Well, Kofi Kingston, JT Fury, whatever you're calling yourself today, I'm glad that you visited with us here, and it's always good talking to you, Kof. Be safe, okay?
Right on. Thanks for having me on the show.
My pleasure, man. Talk to you soon. Now, don't forget, everybody else, at the TheBrianSoscia. Hit me up on Twitter at TheBrianSoscia. I love talking wrestling. I love answering your questions, so keep them coming. And if you're here on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. We have a lot of exclusives, some big stuff coming up. So make sure you subscribe, and we'll chat more later. Thanks for giving me some of your time.